Dear Ghanaians, our traditional marriage is not an engagement. This particular type of our traditional marriage is not an engagement. Stop calling it an engagement. You are disrespecting our culture. And it is surprising that our parents, our aunties, our uncles, the elders in our communities, our grandparents, you have failed. You have failed to be the custodians of our culture. Most of you, the older generation, did not get married using the European way or the white wedding. You got married through our cultural norm. Yet you allow the younger generation go around printing their wedding invitation and describing the traditional marriage as an engagement. Our traditional marriage is not an engagement. It is a marriage that is recognized within the Constitution of Ghana as customary marriage. The so called white wedding that most of you young people are enthused and so into is a European culture. It is not a Christian marriage. There is nothing like a Christian marriage. It is European culture. That is the way Europeans get married. So the white wedding is Europeans' traditional marriage. It has nothing to do with Christianity. The certificate that you sign in the church is the same one you're going to sign when you finish doing your traditional marriage and you go to the registry to sign. The certificate you sign is not from God. It is not from heaven. It is from the government of the country you reside in. Therefore, making marriage a cultural phenomenon regulated by the government. There is nothing like a Christian marriage. Oh, Dr. Zita, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to do a Christian marriage. There's nothing like that. Your Bible says where two or three are gathered, God is there. If you're doing your traditional marriage and two families come together, God is there. Let us have sense. Because of this colonial legacy of a white wedding, young people cannot get married. I know I always speak for women, but it is the young African men that are suffering because of this insatiable desire of young African women to be married twice, perform their traditional marriage, and then mimic the colonial legacy called the white wedding. So, to the elders of our community, to the elders of our land, to the elders in our family, correct the young people that their traditional marriage is not an engagement, it is marriage. Some of our parents did not have any white wedding and they were married for 50 years and they raised some of us. So, please, dear Africans, especially African women, be content. Do not get me wrong. If you have money and you want to splurge on a party and mimic another person's culture and wear a white gown, and have a white wedding, that is fine. But most of you do not have the resources. And you put the young men under pressure just because you do not consider your traditional marriage to be marriage. You consider it to be an engagement. Therefore, you need that white wedding to feel like, yes, you are now married. I hope the custodians of our culture, the elders in our community, our parents, our grandparents will do better to educate the young ones to understand that marriage is the processes recognized by your society for such purpose. My name is Dr. Zita. I am a sociologist. I'm originally from Ghana. Dear Ghanaians, your traditional marriage is not an engagement. It is marriage. So the next time I see you Ghanaian young women posting, yeah, come with me to my engagement, I'm going to call you out. I usually don't like posting on other people's pages and calling them out because I like to stay out of trouble, but I'll start calling you out and correcting you that it is not an engagement. That is a traditional wedding. That was the way our female ancestors got married, and we need to respect it. If you're not following, guess what? Hit the follow button.